What's up guys, and welcome to this tutorial. Today you will learn the song Gratitude by Brandon Lake on guitar. I will guide you through the song in different segments, step by step, so that with patience even a beginner can learn this song. My name is Silas and I help Christian guitarists master their favorite songs on Fingerstyle guitar. Before we get into the tutorial, let's look at what you will be able to play by the end of this video. Okay, so that now you've watched the playthrough and you know what you're going to learn today, let's get into this tutorial. So for this tutorial we're going to put our capo onto the second fret, and the strings are going to be in standard tuning, and that means that in this tutorial I'm going to call the strings the low E string, the A string, the D string, the G string, the B string, and the high E string. And for the frets, we're going to call them by numbers, so first fret, second fret, third fret. When I say capo onto the second fret, I'm counting from here, so 1, 2, put your capo here, and then this is now the new fret number 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I say the G string on the second fret, it means here. Sorry, this one. Just so you know how we're going to proceed in this tutorial. So let's get into the intro. By the way, there are timestamps in the description, so if you don't want to learn the intro, you can just skip to the next part. But for those who want to learn, let's get right into it. So this is this is the first part that we're going to learn. We start off with a C major chord, so that is the ring finger on the B string, the middle finger on the D string on the second fret, and the ring finger on the A string on the third fret. So this is the C major, and we're going to stay in this position and we're going to pluck. the A string, G string, A string again, B string, G string, B string again. So together. Now take your time to learn this pattern, just stop the video if you need to. And we're going to play this twice. So like this. And if you play it like quickly, like I did in the playthrough, it should sound like this. And after this we get to the next part of the intro. We're going to lift our ring finger, and now the A string is open, right? And we're going to basically, okay, no, not exactly the same pattern. We're going to play the A string, and after this play the D string on the second fret, then A string again, and then B string, G string, and B string again. And this also twice. So again, so we're in this position, right? And then we lift the ring finger, and then we play A string, D string, A string again, B string, G string, B string again. So together. And also this pattern we're going to play twice, just like we did the first part. So from the start, let's start from the C. Lift the ring finger. Sorry. Like this. And after this, we're going to play the G chord. And for this, basically, we leave the the index finger on the B string on the first fret, and we're going to move our ring finger onto the third fret of a low E string, this one. And we start off with the low E string, G string open, G string again, B string, G string, and B string. Sorry, B string, yeah. So like this. And also play this twice, and if you want to play it in the original speed, fast. And after this, we get to the last part of the intro, which is the F chord, or which is played in the F chord. So this might be a bit difficult to grab for some beginners, but this is like the easier version of the F. We're going to press down the the low E string on the first fret by using our thumb and going over the neck like this. And press it down. Then B string on the first fret, G string on the second fret, and D string on the third fret. So it's like a staircase, right? Like this. And then we're going to play low E string, D string, low E string again, and then B string, G string, and then B string again. So it's almost like the same pattern, like the other ones from the start. So again. And if you play this quickly. Sorry. Like this. And then at the end, you do a transition to the next part, which is the verse. So after ending, small break, and then this is already the verse. So yeah, this was we just learned the whole intro. Make sure to practice it, and let's get to the verse. Okay, so let's get into the verse. I'll play through it once. So this is already the verse, let's get into it. So we're starting off with the G string on the 2nd fret, and then we play the B string open, and then we go into a C major position. So, and then basically just play a C chord, and like I taught you earlier what a C chord is in the intro. And then you just play the A string, G string, and B string. And the A string is on the 3rd fret. The G string is open, so you're not pressing down anything there, and the B string on the 1st fret. All 3 strings, and you can roll them a bit. Like always, when you play strings simultaneously, you can just roll them. So. And after this, you're going to play D string on the 2nd fret, G string open, D string again. So, like this. So after playing the 3 strings together from the C major chord, you play the D string on the 2nd fret, G string open, and D string on the 2nd fret again. And after this, you just stay in this position basically, and you just play the A string and the D string, A string again, D string again, G string open, and D string again. Now, that was a bit fast, so again, you just stay in this position after playing the first 2 notes. Like this. And the next part is very similar. We play again, 2nd fret on the G string, and then B string open, and then we go to A minor. And this looks like this. We're going to play, so we're just going to press down the D string and the G string on the 2nd fret, and the B string on the 1st fret, just like the C chord. And we're going to play 3 strings. Those are going to be the A string, the G string, and the B string. All 3 strings together, like this. And then after this, we play similar like we did with the first part of the verse. It's basically the same pattern, right? But I'm gonna teach you anyways. So we play the D string on the 2nd fret. So just hold this position that you already have on your left hand. And then you're going to play D string, G string, D string again, A string, D string, A string, D string, G string, and D string. So exactly the same pattern as the first part. Now, it sounds weird when you play it like slowly because you don't know where you are in the melody, but if you play it quickly, it makes sense, you know? So yeah, feel free to pause the video if you need to clarify what I was saying. But to not waste too much time, let's get to the next part. Also start similar. G string 2nd fret, B string open, and then, sorry, not the C, the G, this is a G chord basically, and we're going to play the low E string on the 3rd fret, together with G string open, and the B string on the 1st fret, so it's kinda a stretch, you know, maybe a bit difficult, and all 3 strings together, like this, so. And then after this, you play the G string open twice, and then you play the low E string again. So, like this. And then we stay in this position, and this can be a bit difficult maybe. After playing the low E string, we're going to play the D string, so this one right here, we're going to play with our pinky if possible. If not, try to find another way, but I find it this is the easiest. So you play the D string on the 3rd fret, and then with the ring finger you go onto the 2nd fret on the D string. So and after this, you play the D string open, but this time again playing the low E string on the 3rd fret, which is why we keep it there all the time, because we need to get back to it anyways, right? So from the start, like this. I play the D string open together with the low E string, like this. And after this, we play this one, which is the A string on the 2nd fret, which is basically just part of the G chord, right? And then we play the D string open. And after this, we do a hammer on onto the D string. So hammer on, using your like strength of the finger. So we're going to pluck the D string open, and then do a hammer on onto the 2nd fret, like this. So let's just go through this slowly from the start. So this was totally hammer on, and then we continue after the hammer on with playing the D string open once more, and then going again to this position where we press down the 1st fret on the low E string with our thumb, like this. So play D string open, and then play the low E string on the 1st fret. D string open, and then we end this with playing the A string on the 3rd fret twice, like this. So, sorry. Like this. Let's play it once more for the context. it should make sense what we're doing here. And this is probably the most difficult part of the entire song, so maybe just practice a bit. So yeah, and this was basically already the verse. So if you got this far, good job. In the playthrough, I played the verse twice, you know, it's like the same thing, but you play it like twice, because in the original Song of Gratitude you play it twice. And at the end, I switched up things. And for those who are interested, like you can just play the verse twice, but for those who are interested to bring it that variation, I'm gonna teach you now. If not, you can just skip to the next part. But this is when you play the second time, when you play the verse the second time, right? And then you get to the end. And you play it like the same notes, but basically higher, you know, higher octave or whatever you call it. You basically just play it higher instead of playing. Oh, sorry, instead of playing. You play. Which is nice, so I'm gonna teach you how. So we're basically playing, this is the second playthrough of the verse, and then we play the same thing. Like we just learned. And then play here. A string, second fret. D string open. And then we play on the B string, the third fret. High E string open. Like this, and then B string on the third fret again, and immediately after that low E string on the first fret with a thumb. So like this. And then you just play the B string on the first fret twice. So from the start. Like this. So yeah, let's get into the chorus. Okay, so this is the chorus, so let's get into this. So we start off by playing the B string on the first fret, and we do a hammer on onto the B string on the third fret, like this. And after this, we go to a C shape, which I already repeated twice in this tutorial, so I will just skip to explain it, but just play a C chord, right, a C major. And then you play 4 strings. You play the A string, the G string, B string, and high E string. So all these 4 strings, you can plug them together and roll them a bit like this. So, hammer on. And after this, we stay in this C major position and we pluck the bottom 2 strings. So the B string and the E string together. And we're going to play that 3 times. Like this. So from the hammer on. This is the part, so I throw up my hands, right? And after playing this 3 times, we do a hammer on again, just like at the start, on the 3rd fret. and we go back to the C position, play exactly the same 4 strings again, and again play 3 times the bottom 2 strings. So from the start. By the way, if you're playing this, you don't need to do the hammer on like this. So when you play, you don't have to do this. You can just stay in the C position and do a hammer on with your pinky, which I prefer so that I don't have to move the rest of my finger, but I can just stay on the C position and do a hammer on like this. But it's a bit difficult, so maybe just do like this if it's easier for you. So after playing the bottom 2 strings 3 times again, we play the 3rd fret on the A string once again, and then we play the 3rd fret on the B string, 1st fret, and 3rd fret again. Oh, sorry. So and again, I like to use my pinky. If you can't, just use your ring finger. It may be easier. And after this, we're going to play the low E string on the 3rd fret together with the B string on the 3rd fret. But we're not going to play the B string yet, so we're not going to play them together, but we just need this finger here anyways for the next notes. But we start off with the low E string, then D string open, G string open, now the B string on the 3rd fret, and we go up again basically. So we go back, G string open and D string open. So together. Like this. Sorry. And after this, we just stay in this position and we're going to pluck 3 strings together. We're going to play the low E string, the G string open, and the B string on the 3rd fret. All 3 strings together, like this. And after this, we play the B string on the 3rd fret, as we already have it here, again 2 times. So, like this. So let's start from the first, like from the bit before. Oh yeah, sorry, I missed one. It's 3, yeah. And then after this, we play the E string, the high-pitched one, open, and we just basically stay in this position. And then we play the low E string again, after playing the high-pitched E. So, sorry. And we play it open, right? We don't press down anything. And after this, we play the B string on the 3rd fret, as we have it already. And then we go to the 1st fret of the B string. It's a bit of a stretch. And then after this, we go to this weird shape. But before we get to that, let's just play the first part slowly to give you an idea of how it should sound if you play it yourself. And now we get to the next part. For the first part, just make sure that you play this well enough before continuing, or that you have at least memorized it, so that after watching this video you can just basically play it in your free time as often as you want without needing to watch a video. So yeah, and after this, like we play this weird looking chord, which is, like I said in the intro, the F chord. So low E string, first fret with the thumb, B string, first fret, G string, second fret, D string, third fret. So you have the staircase. And then we play 3 strings. We're playing the low E string, G string, and B string. All 3 strings together. Sorry. Like this. And after this, we stay in this position, play the D string, G string, and after this we play the B string on the 3rd fret. Now I would recommend, if it's possible, so that you stay in this position, to play it with your pinky. Oh, sorry, this one. The B string on the 3rd fret, right? If it's not possible, you can do it like this, but I would recommend doing it with your pinky. So. And after this, we play the B string open, so we lift all the fingers that are on the B string, and we're going to play it together with the low E string, which we have on the 1st fret, right? And then B string on the 1st fret again. So, sorry. Like this. So from the start. And after this, we play the G string on the 2nd fret, which we already have. So G string, B string on the 1st fret, and then immediately after that we go to A minor. So. And then G string, B string, and then we go A minor. So we're going to press down D string and G string on the 2nd fret and B string on the 1st fret. And we're going to play the A string, G string, and B string. And pluck all 3 strings together, like this. And after this we play the D string, G string, and then we play the B string on the 3rd fret. So. And after this, we play the low E string on the 3rd fret. Make sure that it doesn't buzz like it just did here. And then you play the high E string open. So the low E string on the 3rd fret and the high E string open. Both strings together. And then after this, you play the B string on the 3rd fret again. And now if this is the first playthrough of the verse, this is the part where you go back to the beginning, right? So this is the end basically, and then you start over again from the start. And if this is the 2nd playthrough, when you play it, you end the song like this. Just with a C chord, right? And you can pluck basically any string you want. I just pluck 3 strings: A string, G string, and B string. And yeah, this is the verse. Like I said, you need to play it twice. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to the next part, which is, in my opinion, the best part of the song, which is the bridge. So yeah, we start off by playing a C. Basically, you can just hold a C chord again. This is the best way to play it in my opinion. And we start off by just playing the B string on the first fret once. And then we play 3 strings of the C chord, A string, D string, and G string, not D string, G string, and the B string. So all 3 strings together, you can roll them a bit. And then you play the B string on the first fret 3 more times. And you play this pretty quick, right? So and then you play the G string open, B string on the first fret once more, and then roll the strings, 3 strings again. So A string, G string, and B string. So from the start. Like this. This might not be too easy. Make sure to take your time and be patient. Songs like this just take time to learn. And then after this, like when we play the 3 strings, we do a hammer on with our pinky. Now I think you almost have no choice other than to use your pinky, to be honest. Because as soon as you do this, you're going to lose the bass note, right? Because it stops ringing as soon as you leave your finger. So that's why you really should play like this. And you do a hammer on onto the 3rd fret. Sorry, like this. So basically at the end, when you play this, just a hammer on onto the 3rd fret of the B string, then high E string twice, and then B string on the 3rd fret, and B string 1st fret. So play, let's just start from the hammer on. So like I said, open E string twice, B string 3rd fret, B string 1st fret. Okay, so from the start. And after this, we move up our finger basically. We just play the low E string on the 3rd fret together with the G string open and the B string on the 1st fret. Like this. So it's a bit of a stretch, right? 3 strings together, low E string, low E string, G string and B string. And then after playing this, we're going to play the B string 3 times on the 1st fret. So, and what I like to do when you play it the 3rd time, so 1, 2, 3, like the 3rd time, I like to add the B string open. Sorry, not the B string, the G string open together. So to play 2 strings. So like this. But you can do however you want to. And then after playing, you play the D string open and G string open. So like this. pluck the same 3 strings that we plucked earlier for this G chord. So low E string, G string, and B string. And similar like earlier, now we also do a hammer-on onto the 3rd fret, like this. You could probably also do like this, which is easier because then you can use your ring finger. That's like the alternative, but I just like to use it like this. So do a hammer-on onto the 3rd fret of the B string, and then high E string twice, open, B string 3rd fret, B string 1st fret. So from the start of this G chord, like this. Just take your time. This is probably, like I said earlier, that the verse is like the most difficult part, but I think this is also not that easy. And after this, you play the high E string on the 3rd fret together with the low E string on the 1st fret. Both 2 strings together, like this. And you play the high E string 2 more times, so like this. And then after this, you play the B string on the 1st fret, and then play the high E string on the 3rd fret again, but this time again with the low E string on the 1st fret. Like this. And then play the high E string on the 3rd fret again, on the 3rd fret, and then 1st fret, and then open. So from the start, no wait, like this. And then we end this part, we end the bridge basically with a C chord again, and this time I play 4 strings instead of 3, so I'm going to play the A string, the G string, the B string, and the high E string. All 4 strings. And then to fill like the pause between playing the bridge the first time and the second time, like I did in the playthrough, I do a small arpeggio, so that's just like finger picking. So we stay in this position and I just go down, up, down. What I mean by that, so I play the C, 4 strings, and then I start from the G string, then I go down, like down the strings, so I go G, B, E, B, G, like I go up again after getting to the high E string, so you see what I did there? So after playing this, G string, B string, high E string. Once I reach the high E string, E string, I go back up. So B string, G string, and then A string on the 3rd fret. And then I go down once more, starting from the G string. So like this. And then I start the bridge over again. So yeah, this was already a bridge. You play it twice, right? And then you get to basically the end of the song, and at the end of the song Brandon plays the chorus once more, but he changes the chords a little bit. Now this is like, again, a variation. If you're already happy with what you have, then that's good, but for those who want to learn this variation, I see you in the next segment. Okay, so for those of you who want to learn the last chorus variation, which Brandon Lake has in his videos, or sorry, not in his videos, in his song, starting off like playing the song similar, the chorus similar like we did earlier. Basically, not similar, the exact same way, right? Hammer on. Like by now you should know how to play this, so I'm not gonna explain. And normally we would play, but this time we play so this is, instead of playing a full G chord, or like a normal one, we play a G minor, you know? But enough music theory, let's just get practical. So we start low E string 3rd fret, and then D string open, and then, sorry, I wouldn't recommend using your ring finger, I just did it out of habit. I would recommend using your middle finger, because you need the ring finger and pinky to press down the B string and the G string on the 3rd fret. And then you start with a low E string, D string open, and then G string, and then B string. So basically, like this. And then you go to the 1st fret of the B string, and then go immediately back to the position where you were. So, and then play 3 strings together. The low E string, G string, and B string, all 3 strings together, all 3 strings on the 3rd fret. So like this. And then play the B string on the 3rd fret twice again. High E string open, B string on the 3rd fret again, B string on the 1st fret, and then we get to the F chord. So that's the low E string on the 1st fret, B string 1st fret, and that's also only the ones you need, so you don't even need the ring finger. You can just play like this, and we're plucking the low E string, G string, and the B string, all 3 strings together. Then we play the 3rd fret on the B string, like this, and then B string open, B string 1st fret, like this. So and then you end it with, you play the G string again on the 2nd fret, right? And then B string on the 1st fret, and then you play the you play the B string and the G string both on the 1st fret, and the low E string on the 1st fret. All 3 strings on the 1st fret, like this, and play them together. And then B string 3rd fret, high E string open, B string on the 3rd fret again, and then end it with a C. So the last part once more. And this was basically the whole song. I'm glad that you made it till the end of the song. I encourage you to keep practicing so that you get the right speed and get the harmony into your playing. If this tutorial helped you, there are a lot more on the way, and if you don't want to miss them, I recommend subscribing to the channel. By doing that, you also really support my work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you the next time we learn a song together.